Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and today I bring you guys my red purple Uta deck profile 2024 post OP08 2 Legends. I'm really happy to say that this is one of the most slept on decks in the format, and I actually think it can definitely take some games at your local meta game, even maybe a treasure cup. So let's talk about it. So Uta, or red purple Uta, is a very slept on leader. She is the original pudding, and honestly, with the new support that she has gotten in OP07 and in OP08, and once OP09 comes out, she is only getting better as each set goes. So basically, her gimmick is that when attacking, you can trash one film type from your hand, give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power this turn, then add one Dawn for your Dawn deck as rested. That is a very broken effect. Basically saying, hey, if you are going second and you open a monster that can ramp you, plus her leader effect, you're at 8 Dawn by turn 3. No joke, you can ramp up to 8 Dawn by turn 3. While your opponent is just getting up to 5 Dawn, you will be at 8 Dawn. When you're just getting up to 7, you will be at 10. That's how crazy this deck ramps. It's also really good going first. On your 3 Dawn turn, let's say you don't open a guy who ramps you, that's fine. You use leader effect, you ramp, now you're at 4. On your opponent's turn, where they should be at, I believe, 4, you will be at 6. And you just keep up ramping them from there and just completely outpower your opponent. The idea of this deck is that you're playing a really powerful film package that allows you to just out-tempo your opponent to basically drop 10 drop, 9 drops, 8 drops, completely devastate your opponent before they even get a chance to get to their higher Dawn, and basically go from there. This deck is really, really strong, and I think it only gets better once a new set comes out. So let's talk about it. So first things first, we're playing 4 copies of Shanks. Now, I will say, once OP09 comes out, I'll probably be cutting Shanks down to 3 just because we'll be playing the the new Shanks as well. If you don't know, the new Shanks has Rush, and it's also a 12k beat stick. We also might be trying Goldie Roger in this deck as well. So all keep that in mind. This card's absolutely insane for the simple fact that on play, KO to one of your opponent's characters with 10,000 or less power. With your leader ability, this card KOs any character in the game besides Goldie Roger, who I believe is at 1,300, which is absolutely insane and absolutely broken. This card just, oh, my opponent summoned Gecko Moria, pop the bitch. Don't even think about it. Oh, my opponent summoned Big Mom, discard card from hand, play out of Shanks, and just pop the bitch. It feels so amazing. Next, we're playing 4 copies of Charlotte Linland. Speaking of Big Mom, this card is absolutely phenomenal for any purple deck going forward. This card literally says, hey, you're a ramp deck, you're trying to ramp high. Let me give you a reward for that. So now every purple deck that is not yellow has access to heals now, which is absolutely fantastic. Yellow purple decks always had access to heals, of course Pudding, and of course lovely Lakers Croc. But now every purple deck under the sun can heal themselves, which feels absolutely fantastic. One of the biggest issues with this leader in the previous formats was that it is a 4-life leader and you had no way of putting pressure on the board once you go big. But now with this Charlotte Linland, not only are you removing a threat on field, but you're also healing yourself, putting a gigantic body on field to contest anything they have on field, which is absolutely insane. The fact that this card just says minus a Dawn, heal yourself by trashing a card from hand, then you hit the option to put a 6 cost or less character on the top and bottom of your opponent's life is absolutely phenomenal. Now, next card we're playing is 4 Monkey D. Dragons. Now, in my lovely simulator build, I'm actually playing Rayleigh instead of Dragon. But Rayleighs are like 15 each and are kind of hard to come by. So instead, for your cheap substitute, we can play Dragon. Dragon's absolutely insane. He does rush, 8k, 9,000 power. On your 3 Dawn turn, on your 3rd turn, going second, you can drop a Dragon. Put 2 Rested Dawn on either a leader or a character on field, and then just swing 9-7 at your opponent and just completely out-tempo your opponent, which feels really, really amazing. For the last of our giant units, we're playing 2 Douglas Bullets. I like playing 2 Douglas Bullets. This card is really, really strong. Basically, it doesn't do anything on play, but it's an 8-10 that says, hey, on the next turn, when this card can't attack because he does have summoning sickness, doesn't matter, -4 Dawn, rest any 2 characters or 6 or less directly on the field, rest him, and this guy gains double attack. A 10k with double attack is absolutely horrifying, and just is such a very, very powerful card, and can definitely steal some games off your opponent, especially if you're playing a slower deck like it now. Next, we're playing for Douglas Bullet. Now, this is a amazing card that we only have access to. This card can only be played if your leader is Film. So you're either playing the red Film Uta or, of course, red-purple Film Uta. Allow you to have access to this card. This card's absolutely insane. Basically, it's a 6k 7000 blocker, which is very powerful and very searchable. Next, we're playing 4 of the 4-cost Uta. This card's absolutely phenomenal as well. Basically, on block, you minus the Dawn to rest on an opponent's character that's 5 or less. Really good going aggro, protecting yourself from aggro players, but it's also really good against defensive plays. If your opponent drops, let's say, a queen or a 5-cost blocker like ace, and then they try to swing into your leader, you can Uta minus a Dawn, rest their blocker, and then push aggro on them the next turn, which feels really, really good. Finally, for our last blocker, we're playing 4 Sharias. I know Film has access to a shit ton of blockers. I do want to test them out in the future, but I feel like this lineup of blockers are the best. Shariah is absolutely insane, especially against decks that require their leader ability to do things. For example, like Blue Dolphy, Katakuri, leaders that just like put a lot of dot on their leader to do things. Shariah basically says, hey, you make my attack equal to your opponent's attack. Doesn't matter how much Dawn they put on it. And then basically, that's how it works. On block or when attacking. So this card can help you in the aggro game as well. But basically, it's the idea is that your opponent's going against, like, let's say you're going against a Katakuri. They're using their leader effect. It's 7k swing. Well, this guy will become a 7k, and all you have to do is discard a 1 cost, and then you're free to go. Let's talk about the cards you want to see in hand, because all these cards are fantastic, but there's 2 cards in the deck that are just absolutely mandatory to see. Those being Gillosaurus, what did I say Gillosaurus? Giltazoro, which is an absolutely custom card. If your leader is Film, -1 Dawn on play, add up to 2 Film type characters with 4 or less when you trash the hand. Absolutely broken card. And then basically, we're also playing for Anne. Now, Anne, I will say, can probably be number 2 Bon Clay. I just can't afford number 2 Bon Clay. The impel down one that ramps you on play, and it makes it attack equal to your opponent's character on field. I mean, that card's really, really strong. I can't afford it. It's like, I think like $30 a piece. So I'm playing Anne Sen. Anne is the in-archetype version of Bartolomeo. It's a 4-cost, 5k. I wish it had counter, but it doesn't. It just ramps you one, which is really, really insane. Again, on your 4 Dawn turn, you can ramp with leader and ramp with Anne, making you an 8 Dawn next turn, which you can drop out a dragon or a Rayleigh if you are able to find some Rayleighs for you, and just completely out-pressure your opponent. Now let's talk about our 2Ks. They're playing 12 in total. We're playing 4 Shiki. This card could easily be anything. I almost consider using my Film, my Film Beppos that are like the winter cards. I decided not to, just for the simple fact that I like the trigger effect of -1 Dawn, play this card from hand. That does come up, especially against an aggro deck like Zoro. They have a lot of weenie bodies, and the fact that this card could just be like a way to deter you against red decks feels pretty good. Next, we're playing 4 Saga. Basically, he's just a 4-cost, 5k, 2k. Basically, that's the only reason I've ever played him. I have never summoned this guy, but it gives you the option to summon him because he is just a 4-cost vanilla, basically. And that seems pretty good. And then finally, for the best 2k in our deck, for Benefista. This card is absolutely insane. Not only is it a 2k, but on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add a Film type of it himself to your hand, which is absolutely insane. The final card we're playing is 4 copies of Monkey D. Luffy, our other searcher of the deck. Feels amazing. It's a trigger to activate its main effect. Now, this guy only looks at the top 3, which can whiff sometimes, but ultimately, it's still worth it. It's such a great card. Also, it's a 2/3 that's just pretty awesome. So, yeah, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid. See you on the next one, and bye-bye.